What's up, everybody? It is Friday, May 21st, and this is the weekly Q&A. We're not doing any back to basics videos this week, getting back to answering y'all's questions. Got some new people in the room, want to go over some of the basics again. I know there's a lot of weekly Q&A videos and 2 longer back to basics videos, and that's a lot of information to take in at once, so I'll try to answer some of those questions here and help you solidify that. So the first main question that we had this week was about the bigger trade in the Nasdaq index over this last week, and kind of how did you know which side to be on, how did you avoid shorting, which I didn't, I still shorted, but how did I know on which side of the market to have my bias is basically the question. So we're going to start off on the daily chart here. We're going to draw our main legs, and we will break those down one by one. So first thing I do is I look for bigger moves, right? I want to see where my legs are. I know we were trading down here. That means we're retracing this move right here. What are my legs that I'm retracing? So I know I'm retracing this move. Is this a third leg? So I instantly look left from here and see, did we break support? Well, we broke it here, we broke it here, we broke it here. I'm looking for the lowest support that we broke, because that is going to be the definition of where my legs begin. So I've got this leg up. I know this is the move down to it. So now let's go over here, and we broke this low, so this would be the start of our first leg. Now, this is bigger picture. We also have anything in this immediate leg that could be valid, and failure trades in leg 2, continuation trades from leg 1. And I say immediate leg levels because this is a daily chart, so technically we have legs in here as well. So let's zoom in right here. So we'll see, and I talked about this in the last video, daily chart, individual candles can be legs in themselves. I know this move down broke support to the left. Let me just draw this qualifier real quick. And this is another question I had about qualifiers. Qualifiers are what create your legs. So right here, this is support and an up leg. Remember, qualifiers can be support and an up leg, which are lows in this up leg, or resistance in a down leg. That's it. Those are qualifiers. They must, in order to be valid, this support must break resistance to the left. Now, this is an index. This was at all-time highs. There is no left here. Actually, this is Nasdaq. Let me make sure. I go back to 2000. No, so we technically have this way back here. 48.81. See, we're way above prior all-time highs. So right here, there was nothing for it to break. Right? We got above this high, all-time high. This support technically broke this high. And that is how it works when you're at all-time highs. Each consecutive new high means this could be a valid segment of a leg. So now we know this low broke resistance. This move broke support. So this high could be a qualifier in the leg down because it broke support. This high could be a qualifier in the leg down. This one. Not these, because they are nested inside here. And the only reason these count is because they led to new lows. So you got this as a qualifier. This can be one. this high, this high, this one, this one, this one. Not this one because it's the high of the leg. It's its own qualifier for a different reason. So from here, we broke this high. I will make that qualifier in itself. So there, we know we went up there. We know we came down to this low. So we have this move right here. From the bottom of this, just like we did with this low right here, we're going to look left and see what we broke. We broke this move right here, this support. Nothing in here, at least not on the daily chart. So there's the beginning of our leg one in the immediate. Now, I will color this pink just so we can keep it separate from our bigger leg in white. Okay, so this is our immediate leg. White is our bigger leg. Now, we need to find our levels. Our levels are resistance in the up leg. So resistance in leg one. Our continuation levels after this point, after this high. And as we were breaking down here, they could have been failure shorts. So continuation long and failure short are anchored from the exact same spot. Just like a failure long and a continuation short are anchored from the exact same spot. That's why I tell you guys the rules apply the same no matter which setup you're taking. You have your two qualifiers, you have your three legs, and it is either a high in an up move or a low in a down move that you are trading from. That's it. Done. Okay. So from here, we have resistance there. This led to new highs. This led to new highs. We will mark that. Let's go back to our drawing tool. Resistance, support, 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 support. Okay, so this goes to tested and untested. This one, very much tested. This, very much tested over here. So while they are valid levels, they are not levels I want to trade from right now because they're tested. So not there, not there. Ooh, what about right here? Resistance led to new highs, acted as support, support, resistance, support, resistance. Oh, right here where we broke out, no support. How about that? So this is our daily level. I will mark this in white just to associate it with our daily level. So this is the lowest continuation long we have in here. These are also valid levels, but remember our big moves come from our lowest untested and our highest untested. So while these were valid trades, all in themselves, like right here, that's where we got this bounce from that day. And this is just from looking at this bigger leg. All of this has context on the right side as well, which made all of these extra valid. This also answers another question we had. Not exactly a question, but it would be very helpful if you could do a few comparisons of ideal setups versus setups that technically meet the rules but you wouldn't take, and why. So these are setups that meet the rules. Would I take them blindly? This is a daily chart. I'm an active intraday trader. To give this its required stop is quite a big move. So I want to see something in the immediate leg we're retracing that gives me confluence. I want a valid trade on the right side of my chart, which would be the leg I'm retracing, and I want a valid trade on the left side of my chart, which is the bigger leg one or leg two, depending. So right here, we have our lowest untested continuation long from this bigger three-leg scenario on the daily chart. Now, let's take a look at our potential failure longs, because remember, those can be valid too. It's whichever one's lowest untested. So let's zoom in to this leg and check things out. So we know these are not going to be our lowest untested at this point. I mean, they could technically, but we have this continuation long that is lower than all of these. So instantly, none of this can be my lowest untested. This can, because it's below this. So we'll mark that. We'll mark this low. And we'll mark this low. These are just daily levels. Okay? So these are potential failure long scenarios from leg 2 in the larger leg 3 scenario. Now, let's take a look. This is tested. The same area tested this and tested this. So let's remove those. Let's look down here. Tested. That's not valid either. Okay, I take that back. It is a valid level. These are valid levels. They are not untested. And we want fresh first tests of levels. These are not first tests. They are second. So at this point, we have 12,958 half as our lowest untested level on the daily leg. So what does that tell me? That tells me this is the level we must repel from to continue our trend. If we break this third leg, we will begin a larger downtrend. This is our last move to the high. We must hold it to continue going higher. So we tested 12,958. It happened to be the absolute low on this day. This Globex popped below and went higher. Now, we still have this valid leg in here. We can do the exact same thing on this leg that we did on these legs. So let's do that. So we start with our resistance in leg 1, right there, and right there. And then we have our failure trades in leg 2, which would be right here, and right here. Now, these are tested. Remove that. Remove that. This one's pretty close to this one, so I will keep that on there. This is clearly highest, so we'll remove that. So now we have this 12,992.75. I'm not actually looking at the highs here. Let's see. The high is 12,993 quarter. Yeah, I'm kind of a stickler for being precise. Okay, 93 quarter. The low, 934 quarter. I have it at 934. Okay, so here are two levels. Technically, we have 12,958 half is the daily lowest untested. 12,934 quarter is the lowest untested of this three-leg setup. Let's zoom out. So we can say that this is the lowest untested of the bigger move. This is the lowest untested of this leg. This area is important. So we zoom in. We hit 12,958 that day. We hit 12,934 quarter that day. At this point, your bias should be leaning long. Now, we are still in a downtrend. Okay? So, how do we reverse? We reverse by gaining last loss support or losing last gain support. Now, what is that? It's the exact same thing we did over here. This little dashed line. This would have been last lost. Last loss support. How do we determine when we have gained that move? We look at the move that broke it. Okay? So this is the leg that broke that level. Once we got above here, there's qualifier number 2. We are potentially in full-blown reversal mode. We hit that. We broke above this qualifier. We came down to lowest untested right in here. Boom, hit it, continued higher. All right? This is how we reversed back in March. Right? So we'll remove that. And now we will look and see what's going on in the immediate. Same exact thing. Never changes. So I'll just get this out of the way just so you can see the level I'm talking about here. All right, so when we broke down here, the last significant support that we lost was right here. We will make that our qualifier, our dashed line. So we broke that right here. Now technically, the move that broke this was right in here. We broke it. We failed to gain here by going above this qualifier. See, we broke this. We broke this qualifier, this one, and this one. These all broke support. This would have been lowest untested. We hit that, went higher. So this is your own little three-leg scenario here, which in turn, I'll tell you why this is important in a second. Remove drawing, make this a qualifier. Remember, I'm marking my highest and lowest qualifiers because this is what gives me my boundaries of my three legs. So this is a qualifier, this is a qualifier. This is three legs. This is the test of 12,958 quarter, or 58 half. This was our daily lowest test. We bounced to here. Our lowest untested was 934 quarter. We went here. So this was the last support that we broke. We failed. We failed to lose it here, which is why we got this bounce, and then we made new lows. So now what we must gain in order to continue higher, since this was broken support, it has been lost as we broke it here. It was gained above here, and then lost again on these new lows. So how do we regain it and make it valid again? We have to get above the third leg down. This is leg 3. Remember I told you earlier, it's significant when you break a third leg. This is a third leg. 1, 2, 3. We broke it. Now we have failed to lose this support from further left. Let's zoom out. Right here, we have failed to lose that again. So what does that tell me? That doesn't tell me to buy this level. It tells me be on the lookout for lowest untested. Now, we had some smaller support in here that we broke that made this our last and lowest untested. It also happens, okay, see, I have this 12,958 half wrong, I think. Sorry guys, let me zoom out. 12,959.75. I was like, I remember specifically that that level was the absolute low that day. So we know that was the lowest daily from the bigger leg. We zoom in. How about that? That level became our lowest failure long. It has significance to the left because of 12,959.75 is the daily lowest untested from the larger leg 1 in the 3-leg setup. So from here, this is basically buy the dip or it's all over, right? You buy the dip here, stop goes below here. Now, the rule of thumb is when you hit lowest untested, which was 12,934 quarter, and you gain last lost support, which would have been above here, 13,069's this high, because we broke support to the left. You target highest untested of the leg you are retracing. The leg we are retracing, technically the next leg we're retracing is this one. But bigger picture, since it's from the daily, we would be looking for highest untested in this move down. And this is valid until and unless you fail to gain support again, which is what we've done here so far. With this being the qualifier. So I know we've hit lowest untested, we've gained last lost support, this is now lowest untested, and our target is higher. So from here, my bias, once we gain last lost again, which is right here, my bias is long, period. I'm looking for long trades. That's all I'm doing. You can zoom in. We see this was broken support. This right here is the move that broke it. Actually, this move broke it. This is a third leg. Broken support, 3 legs, which makes this valid. We got above here. Bias is now 1000% long as we get above here. Zoom in even further. We hit the low of this leg, which was support, resistance, now support. We go up. And at this point, all of your trades should be focused on longs. You get above here, failure long there. Above here, you've got potential failure long there. There. See, I don't have to draw these in real time, but these are potential support levels. And you want to see these levels line up with valid levels over here, right? That's our left plus our right. So like right at this point, we didn't gain this level, 13,101 but we had a much smaller leg 3 in the immediate. And that's the nice thing about this is you can just keep zooming in, zooming in, zooming in, and it's all fractal over and over and over again. So basically you want your support from the left to line up with moves on the right. You've got support here. You've got a continuation long here, resistance, support, support, resistance, support. Came down here. Potential failure long there and there. Was not lowest untested. Waited for it to gain support. Gained it right here. You can buy the dip there. Continues higher. And at this point, I'm being very liberal with my application of this because I know, zooming out, see how sloppy this starts getting? I know big picture I have hit lowest untested of this leg and lowest untested of these legs, so I should be going much higher. And now I've hit lowest untested here, which is your failure long, bias up. That's it. So I think I actually covered pretty much every question in this one explanation. We wanted to talk about qualifiers and what make them valid, what makes a leg valid. A leg is valid because it gains or loses support. That's it. So it must break support that broke resistance, right? So this is a leg because it broke this support, which led to new highs. This support led to new highs. So if we had broken here and not gone down this far and reversed, this would be your qualifier. This would be your lowest continuation long. But we didn't. We broke down here. So these two things moved down there. And in order to have a valid trade, you have to have qualifier 1, which is here. We broke support. And then you have to have qualifier 2, which would have been here Actually, here in this trade, it was on the daily, it was this high that broke support. So at that point, you have broken support, and then you broke resistance that broke support, which means you failed to lose it. Now you've got your 3 legs of reference. 1, 2, 3. So hopefully that in-depth explanation of the bigger low in the Nasdaq kind of gives you guys an idea of how this process works. I do this on higher time frames, I do it on lower time frames, and that is where I form my thesis for the day. Have we gained or lost support on the higher time frames? I come into the day, I answer that question, and then I go, okay, yes or no. That starts my decision tree from there. If we have, what did we gain? What did we lose? Where are we targeting? If we haven't, okay, we are still doing what the previous move wants to do, or we're contained, and I'm either in scalp mode or sit on my hands mode. So hopefully that answers some questions for you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm probably going to take off early today. Like I said, it's options expiration, 3rd Friday of the month. Last day for index options. Things get kind of weird. So I'm going to end this week on a high note. And hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Good luck studying. Drop some questions in the room. And I'll talk to you guys later.